Hello, my fellow broke aristocrats. Thanks for joining me today. Today is a fun video where we're talking about the 8 principles of success. These are 8 things that you can do to be more successful in your life, and I have certainly incorporated some of these principles into my life. And sometimes you need a refresher course, so I decided to do this video to motivate myself and hopefully to motivate my fellow broke aristocrats as well. So the first principle I want to talk about comes from Oprah Winfrey, and that is service and excellence. She has said in the past that she never really worried about having a brand when she was developing her business. Instead, she simply focused on being motivated to serve others and to help. And the second thing was that she focused on excellence, and that was something that she learned very early on when she would write papers like book papers and things like that, is that she really worked at turning in reports early, and she really focused on having those reports, her homework, etc., being excellent. So that first tip comes from Oprah Winfrey, and that is number 1. Have the intent for your life, whatever you choose to do in life, be based on service, that you must serve the planet. You're not doing it just for yourself. Motivated, how can I help? How can I serve? And to be excellent in your work. Really do your best to have the work that you produce be excellent. That is number 1. Number 2 is to find out what it is you really want out of life. What do you want to achieve? How do you want to serve? What drives you to get up in the morning? What is your passion in life? What is your biggest dream in life? And how can you take that thing you want most out of life and put your own signature or your own spin on it? So that is number 2. Find out what it is you truly want out of life. I have told my story before, but I remember when I decided that I wanted to be a doctor. I'll tell that story quickly here again. I was working as a waitress at a coffee shop. I was 28, 29 years old, and I was working in a diner. I was a high school dropout, and I was very sad. I was a sad person, wasn't happy with my life, and I remembered praying really, really, really hard, asking the question, what do I want? What do I want? And the answer came to me that what I really wanted more than anything in the world was, I wished I could have been a doctor. I wished I could have been a doctor. And I wish that I could have been a doctor helping others to be happy, of course, but also working in preventative medicine. And once I realized what I wanted to do with my life, I think that the hard part was over, because I think sometimes not knowing what we want to do with our lives is the hardest part of the journey. And I remember going back to that coffee shop the following day, 7 a.m. shift or something, and announcing to everybody at the coffee shop that I was going to be a doctor. And everybody had started to chuckle and tell me that I go clean up table 5. It needs to get cleaned. Everybody thought it was pretty funny. And then I did it. I was enrolled in the local community college. I was at community college for 3 years before I was able to transfer to the university. And that was the journey of the second phase. I knew I wanted to serve, and I know I wanted to be excellent, but I didn't know how I was going to serve. And so in step 2, it's about collecting information about how you can achieve your goal, finding out who you are. Step 2, find out what it is you want, may mean taking lots of college courses until you find out what it is that brings you your bliss. I ended up graduating from college with a degree in anthropology, something that never even entered my mind. But once I started taking college courses, I found out that this was a subject that I absolutely loved. And so I found out something really amazing about myself simply by opening myself up to things that I hadn't been exposed to before. So phase 2 is find out what it is you really want. Collect information about it. Step 3, I really recommend for step 3 that you start writing things down, and that is find out what you need to do in order to achieve your goals. So for example, in the case of me wanting to become a physician, I had a long journey, and to be quite honest with you, I think that the school counselors at the local community college were pretty skeptical, but I showed up and I said, I want to be a doctor, and they went, okay, well, here's what you got to do. Here's all the courses, and since you don't have any math skills, you're going to have to start with basic math, and then you're going to have to start with algebra 1, and you're going to have to work your way all the way. And I did it. So it was because of that single-mindedness. I knew what I was put here to do. I knew what I wanted to do with my life. And that's why I say that step number 2, finding out what it is you truly want to do, is going to push you forward even when everyone around you doesn't believe in your dream. So get the information. Now that you know what you want to do with your life, collect information about how to achieve your goal. Number 4, create a 5-year plan. Now, when it comes to becoming a physician, it actually took me about 10, 11 years because I was behind. I had a lot of education I had to get through, but I did start a 5-year plan, and in the 5-year plan I had a vision of myself starting medical school, and I was pretty close to being on that goal. I think it took me close to 6 years. I was behind by about a year, but I did achieve that. So getting a 5-year plan together is really highly recommended. If you have a business plan, if you have a dream plan, if you are creating a dream board, all of that's fine, but I really think having a 5-year plan is really the way to go, because you can then start to organize it step by step. Where am I going to be in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Get yourself organized. That's step 4. Have that 5-year plan. Step 5 is one of the hardest steps for me, and it may be easy for you, but this is where I get snagged a lot, full disclosure, and that is to eliminate any activities that draw attention away from your goal. It is about single-mindedness. If you are someone that is wasting time inside your own mind, getting angry about the past, getting angry about the boy that broke your heart, getting angry about this person hurt my feelings, or there's something on CNN I want to watch, or oh, there's a new movie on Netflix. If you are somebody who is easily distracted, that can be a huge enemy of anybody who's trying to achieve a goal. So number 5 is to eliminate any activities that draw attention away from your goals. So when you are writing things out, I want you to also create a new list, and that is a list of everything that takes up your energy and time that does not achieve your goals. Starting with spending too much time watching TV, or too much time playing on the internet, too much time on Facebook, too much time dwelling on a past that cannot be changed, too much time resenting the past. Those are all crimes that I have committed, if you want to call it that, but they're really just time wasters. And they're also bad for our spirits, because once we learn from the past, and the past serves a purpose. Looking back at the past and saying, oh, I made a mistake, let me apologize, let me fix that, let me modify my behavior so that I can be successful in the future. Other than that, there is no reason to dwell on the past. The only purpose to dwell on the past is to learn from past mistakes, correct your activity, apologize, make amends, and try and heal any mistakes you've made in the past. All of that's legitimate. Other than that, it's time to move on. Do not draw attention away from your goal and waste your time with trivial activities. That's actually a very Victorian idea. Do not waste time with trifles. Do not have idle hands. If you look at some of the most successful people in the world, they are focused, they are single-minded focused. You look at political campaigns also. Who becomes the most successful politician? The one that stays focused. right? They stay focused. They don't go and let themselves, fitter about. Focus, focus, focus. Do not get distracted. Stay on your goal and do not dwell on the past. The only purpose to dwell on the past is to learn from past mistakes. What I mean by that, to be very clear, is that if you're doing it wrong for 5 years and you refuse to look at the past, that isn't good either. You want to look at the past to figure out how you're messing up so that you can modify your behavior so that you can be successful in the future. That is the purpose of looking at the past. Number 6, learn from past mistakes but do not dwell on them. We've already talked about that. Number 7, be willing to modify your actions and your plan based on new information. So, as I had said, when you look at the past and you say, wow, I messed up, okay, don't beat yourself up. Just figure out how you messed up. Nobody's perfect, no saints here, and then learn to change your behavior based on those past mistakes. All right, we've talked about that enough. Okay, number 8, never stop trying. Be willing to adjust to new information. Be willing to modify your plan with new information and even be able to change your plan. I know people I went to college that really, really, really wanted to be a doctor. And then as they continued on to their studies, they said, you know what, I have to admit my passion is more into physical therapy. And then they went off and became physical therapists. They weren't failures because they didn't become a doctor. It's simply that they had new information and they discovered that their real passion was somewhere else. And so they went on to become successful physical therapists. So number 8 is never stop trying, but at the same time, be willing to adjust and change your plan, modify your plan as you receive new information. Okay, so those are the 8 principles of success. I hope you enjoyed having me list them for you here, but be sure and tell me what your plans are for success and whether or not this video was helpful for you. I want to thank you for watching this video of Broke Aristocrats. Be sure and share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell me what you're doing to take care of yourself without breaking the bank, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.